He is the one who knows what is hidden. He does not disclose it except to a messenger of his choosing. He sends watchers to go in front and behind. Notice the detail in the prophecy. A specific people, the Arab Bedouins of the region, were identified. Prophet Muhammad could have easily played it safe by using more general language, such as, you see, competition in the construction of tall buildings, which of course would be flexible enough to be applied to anyone in the world. Today we find in the Arabian Peninsula the Arabs who used to be impoverished herders of camels and sheep are now competing to build the tallest tower blocks. Today, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, is the world's tallest man-made structure at 828 m. A short time after it was finished, a rival family in Saudi Arabia already announced that they would build a taller one, 1000 m. The Kingdom Tower, currently estimated to be completed in 2019. They are thus literally competing with each other over who can build the tallest building. The Kingdom Tower. The world's tallest buildings over the past 100 years. Now, what's remarkable is that up until only 50 or 60 years ago, the people, let me see, Philadelphia, City Hall, Philadelphia, Singer, New York, Metropolitan Line, yeah. Now, what's remarkable is that up until only 50 or 60 years ago, the people of the region hardly had any houses at all. In fact, most of them were still Bedouins living in tents. It was only the discovery of oil in the 20th century that led to the prosperity and transformation of the region. Were it not for oil, then chances are the region would still be the barren desert that it was at the time of the revelation of the Quran. If this were mere guesswork on his part, then the discovery of oil would have been a massive stroke of luck. Moreover, if Prophet Muhammad were merely guessing, then wouldn't it have made more sense to relate this prophecy to the superpowers of his time, Rome and Persia, who, unlike the Arabs, already had a tendency to construct extravagant buildings and palaces? Conquest of Persia. One of the greatest hardships to befall Prophet Muhammad was the Battle of the Trench. In the year 627 CE, a coalition army of pagan Arab and Jewish tribes numbering 10,000 men attacked the Muslim city of Medina. The Muslims were outnumbered 3 to 1, and for 2 whole weeks they were under siege. The Quran vividly describes the dire situation faced by the Muslims. They massed against you from above and below. Your eyes rolled with fear. Your hearts rose into your throats, and you thought ill thoughts of God. There the believers were sorely tested and deeply shaken. Shortly before the battle commenced, whilst the Muslims were digging a trench around the city of Medina in preparation for the impending attack, when they were facing impossible odds and were staring certain defeat. in the face. Prophet Muhammad made a bold prediction. Al-Bara said, "On the day of Al-Khandaq, the trench, there stood out a rock too immune for our spades to break up. We therefore went to see God's messenger for advice. He took the spade and said, in the name of God. Then he struck it, saying, God is most great. I have been given the keys of Asham, great Assyria. By God, I can see its red palaces at the moment. On the second strike, he said, God is most great. I have been given Persia. By God, I can now see the white palace of Medan. And for the third time he struck the rock, saying, in the name of God, shattering the rest of the rock. And he said, God is most great. I have been given the keys of Yemen. By God, I can see the gates of Sinai while I am in my place. Prophet Muhammad made the astonishing claim that the Muslims would not only take the lands of Yemen and Great Assyria, much of which was under the occupation of the Roman Empire, but that they would also defeat the mighty Persian Empire, one of world's great superpowers, within just a few decades of Prophet Muhammad.